So we are going to be starting off in a seated position. For those of you who, I'm going to actually do a little posture lab at the beginning. For those of you who are comfortable sitting cross-legged, as I am, great. I use a cushion to sit on so that my hips are higher than my knees, which is easier. So you may want to have a seat or a cushion or this is my meditation cushion. So we're going to start off in our movement seated. For those of you that find sitting cross-legged on the floor challenging, you can do this beginning bit seated on a chair, and then we're going to move into a lying down movement practice, and then we're going to go into a lying down relaxation practice. So you may find yourself moving through different positions, but we will eventually spend a long time lying down. So one of the things about this kind of practice, it's Shauna was asking, it's like restorative in the sense that you use props. You use a lot of props. So you may want to bolster, blankets, blocks, straps, whatever it is that's going to help you be able to be comfortable. So welcome everyone. We're going to give it a few minutes, but just to start off with, I don't know if all of you have explored different seated positions. So, one of the reasons why we talk about to establish a comfortable seated position is that if you can sit, for those of you who can sit cross-legged, that's great. But the idea is to use some sort of cushion. So I have this cushion, and you can, oh yay, and you can elevate your seat so that your hips are higher than your knees. And what this does is that this allows the structure of your body to hold yourself upright. If I sit without a cushion, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what happens is that in order to sit upright, I have to really use the muscles in my lower back, which will tire in about 10 minutes. Now, for some people, sitting cross-legged is very challenging. And there's another position that I sometimes sit in that I find really good as well. It's sometimes called the hero position. And that's, you can sit on either a block or your cushion in between your legs. And when I'm sitting like this, the upper part of my body can move freely, and yet my back is upright without strain. I mean, we're going to be in this seated position probably for about 10 minutes. And I want to welcome my friend Ellen. Hi! So just to let you know, we're going to start in a seated position, but then most of this is going to be done lying down. And in terms of props, as I mentioned to everybody, if you could have blankets and a pillow for your head maybe, and other things, because we are going to be spending quite a bit of time lying down in a guided relaxation. It's very guided. Okay, so we're going to start with a warm-up, and we're going to be doing a gentle yoga flow. And the focus of this flow will be on joint mobility. So we're kind of going to go down through the body, and we're just going to be moving all of the joints. The invitation in all of this is to do what feels right for you. If I ask you to do something that is not right for you because of any situation in your body, then please modify it. Listen to your own authority, not to me. And always err on the side of caution and care for your own body. This isn't about striving. This isn't about trying to get into any pretzel position. So just taking a moment, let's just start with our pause practice. So taking a moment and just settling in to your chosen position. And perhaps starting by taking 3 long, slow breaths, eyes open, closed, whatever works for you. and seeing if you can allow the exhalation to be longer than the inhalation. This actually can activate the relaxation response of the body and can help prepare us to practice together. And on the last exhalation, just allowing your breath to assume its own natural rhythm without manipulating it in any way. And let's just begin by checking in and seeing where we're at this moment in time. So you can begin by checking in with the body and perhaps just noticing the places where your body is making contact with the surface that it's on. And then perhaps moving awareness to maybe the feeling of the clothes on your skin or the air on your skin. And then moving inside and just checking, what's going on with my body today? Are there any points of tension or tightness? Are there any areas that I have to be particularly aware of? And not attempting to change anything, but just being aware of what's present for you in this moment. And then moving the attention, because we can, bringing attention to the mind. And just noticing, not the content, but just noticing, is my mind really busy? Are there a lot of thoughts about the past? Am I already moving into what I'm going to be doing next? Thoughts of the future? And just you could notice kind of the feeling tone of the thoughts as well. Worried thoughts, planning thoughts, thoughtful thoughts. Or maybe your mind is feeling pretty calm. Maybe there's a lot of space there. And again, not attempting to change anything that's there, but just accepting, welcoming whatever is here in this moment. And then lastly, checking in with the triangle of awareness with emotions or feeling states. So just seeing, can you name how you're feeling right now? Are there feelings of anticipation? Are you excited? Are you impatient? Happy, sad, frustrated, peaceful, calm? Maybe there's a few emotions happening. And then just allowing your eyes to open if they were closed. And we will begin our movement practice. So we're going to start with the top of the head. So I'm going to invite everybody to just start making little circles with your nose. Just small circles. Just noticing, and you can just make it as big as feels comfortable for you, maybe really big circles. And I notice as I increase my range of motion, there's some interesting sounds coming out of my neck, which is okay. Oh. And then once you've gone in one direction, you can change to the other direction. Just bringing some movement, mobility into the neck, and allowing your shoulders to be heavy and away from your ears. And seeing if, when we go through these motions, we can keep our attention on whatever part we're moving. Just seeing if any other parts of the body are trying to get into the act. And then bringing the head back to neutral, just noticing it, balancing. And then dropping the chin to the chest and imagining the back of the neck flexible as a garden hose. And then maybe just bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. And then if you feel that you could use a little bit more, just resting your hand gently on your ear. Mm. Never going to the point of pain or strain, just gentle movement here. And then releasing that, allowing the head to come back to neutral and going to the other side. And you may notice, as I just did, that there's definitely a different range of motion available to me on this side, and that's okay. Just noticing. And you may notice some sensations as I am on the right side of the neck when we do this. And then releasing and allowing the head to come back to neutral. And then taking a moment and really dropping the shoulders down and extending the neck long, and then just looking up at the ceiling, so expanding the chest. So we're not dropping the head back, we're just really elongating the neck, looking up, and then opening your mouth up as wide as possible. Releasing tension in the jaw, and then bringing your lower lip to your upper lip. And then just making some small movements with your neck, with your chin. Noticing sensations in the neck as you do this. And then coming back to neutral and just noticing if you're feeling a little taller. That's great. And then I'm going to invite everybody, inhale up, hands come up, reaching up towards the ceiling, and you can clasp your hands together, maybe going into the steeple position, and we're going to exhale to one side, any side, choose a side. And inhale up and exhale to the other side. So noticing the compression of the rib cage on one side, the expansion on the other side. And then as we go over one more, we're going to go over and just allowing your hand to come down to the floor and really deepening that stretch, maybe feeling a sense in the hips, going into the waist as we do this. And then inhaling up and then just switching to the other side. Oh, just waking up the body, recognizing first movements of the day, and inhaling up. And then putting your hands on your on your thighs, and we're just going to do some seated cat-cow. So exhaling and rounding your back, allowing your shoulders and head to come forward, and imagining you're creating space in between the vertebrae and your back. And then inhaling up, chest expands, and you're just having a little concave stretch in the back. And it's okay to wiggle. It's okay to move. And then just moving back and forth a few more times, imagining that your spine was as flexible as a garden hose. Oh, just waking up the spine. And then coming back to neutral, relaxing the shoulders. And just, I'm going to invite you to put your left hand or your right hand on your left knee. Doesn't matter. One hand on one knee, one hand behind you, and inhaling as you reach up and just twisting, noticing what your range of motion is, and only going to 80%, not too much. First twist of the day. And then coming back to center, twisting around the other way. Oh, that feels really good. And now just some shoulder rolls. So just rolling your shoulders one way, maybe 3 times one way, 3 times the other way. And then reaching your hands out. We're going to do some work around with mobility of the shoulders. So you can have your hands up in what's cactus arms, as Natalia calls them, and then just lowering your elbows down so you're forming like a W, and then reaching up into a V.
Natalia, Bonnie, and Liz.
And coming down. Natalia, are you there? And inhaling up. And then we can play around with these cactus arms. So now just drop the arms down and noticing the whole range of motion coming from the shoulders and coming up, and coming down, and coming up. And then we're going to just do some work with the hands. So poor hands that have been on the computer too much, stretching your hand out like a stop and pulling your fingers back and noticing the stretch that goes all the way into the forearm. I'm noticing it today in the palm and in my thumb, and turning the hand down, going the other way. Hand out. Other hand. Down. And then just shaking out your hands. And you can flick your fingers. Flick, flick, flick. Or catching flies. Moving. And last one, clasp your hands together, noticing which thumb is on the bottom, and you're just going to make figure eights with your hands. Going the other way. Noticing all sorts of interesting cracking motions. And then just seeing, what do you need right now? What do your hands, arms need? Maybe they need a little dancing shoulders, dancing arms. And then I'm going to invite everybody to shift positions and come into a seated position. And we're going to work a little bit on our feet. We're going to go down to our feet, we've done our hands. So just starting off with your feet stretched out in front of you. Actually, you could do this lying down. We can just go straight into a lying down position. So finding that place where you're comfortable lying down. And if anybody has any issues with your lower back, then just adjusting in a way that's comfortable for you. For some people, it's helpful to put something under your thighs. So if you're okay with this, we're just going to start moving the feet. So just start pointing and flexing the feet. Going back and forth. And then maybe windshield wipers. So your windshield wipers can be in sync, or they can be moving your feet out and in. And then maybe circling at the ankle. So you can go one way, circling, and then the other way. So just noticing how this feels. Are there any areas of tightness or looseness as you're doing this? So now we moved our ankles. We're going to move up to the knees. So I'm going to invite you to just bend one knee, bringing one knee up. You can clasp your knee below the knee with your hands, bringing your thigh into your chest, and then just bringing that leg up and bend and straighten. And I'm noticing that my legs are really tight today, so the straightening part is still pretty bent. So just bending and straightening that knee. And then just taking your knee and making a circle with your knee so that you're opening up the hip. Oh, and I'm noticing some interesting sounds. So turning one way, turning the other way. And then again, just bringing that knee into your chest. And if you wish, you can bring the other leg just about it, flexing the foot, bringing the leg about an inch off the ground, and noticing that this involves the abdominal muscles. Oh, feels really good. Oh, and then letting that knee come down, putting the foot on the floor with the knee up, and allowing your knee to fall out to the side like a chicken wing. And again, it may not make it all the way to the ground, and that's okay. Just noticing whatever the range of motion is. And also noticing what's comfortable for you. You know, your foot might be near your calf. It might be near your thigh. Whatever works. And then straightening out that leg, and we'll bring the other leg up into the chest. Oh. And you can experiment with this with flexing your foot, pointing your foot, noticing how that works, and then just bending and straightening that knee. Oh. And then making circles with the knee, which actually moves the hip and the hip socket. So going one way and then going the other way. And then just planting the foot on the floor and allowing that foot to just fall out to the side, noticing how that feels. And then just stretching both feet out and just noticing what was the impact of that. So now I'm going to invite you to sit, just bringing both feet up so your palm, the feet, soles of your feet are together, and allowing your knees to fall out to the side in a butterfly position. You can have your hands resting on your thighs. And in this position, you may want to try a little ballistic stretching. So some little gentle pulses, perhaps noticing the opening in the hips as you do this. And then just stretching your legs out. We've moved all of our, and then I'm going to invite everybody just lying down in what we call Shavasana or immortal position. So feet are slightly apart, lying away from you. Hands are a little bit away from your body, palms up towards the ceiling. If that's comfortable for you. For some people, you may notice that you'd rather have your hands on your body. You might rather have your hands on your belly or on the bottom of your rib cage or whatever works for you. You may be more comfortable with having your knees up. I like the position where my feet are at the outside of my mat and my knees are falling in towards each other. This is a really restful position. I'm going to invite everyone to just check in with your body and just see, what do you need right now? What do you need? So I'm feeling like I need a full body stretch. So I'm going to invite everybody, if you want to join me, if this works for you. So I'm stretching out my right arm, right leg away from each other, left arm, left leg away from each other. And then I'm going to invite everybody to tense. So squishing your fingers, squishing your feet, tightening your buttocks, tightening every muscle, all the muscles in your face. Nobody can see you. It's okay. Tense, 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 and then release and relax. So if there's anything else that you feel that you need for your own body, just taking a few moments here and seeing, what do I need? And then I'm going to invite everyone to take a few moments and get yourself into the position that you want to be in for your relaxation. So you can lie on your backs, get yourself a pillow for your head if that works for you, if that's comfortable. Get yourself a blanket to cover yourself up with. And whatever your chosen position is, if you need to move, if you need to choose it, to change it at any time, that's okay. For those of you who are lying on yoga mats on a hard floor, you may actually want to put either another yoga mat or you may want to put a blanket underneath you so that you can be comfortable when you do this. I mean, for some people, they like to lie down on a couch or on a bed. It doesn't have to be on the floor. So this next part of the practice comes from a stream of yoga called Yoga Nidra or yogic sleep. And it's a powerful meditation practice that promotes deep relaxation and self-awareness. And it's a systematic guided practice. I'm going to be guiding you through various aspects of this practice and based on self-inquiry. And it differs from the traditional mindfulness meditation that we've been doing in that it's not about concentration. It's not about choosing a focus for your attention and noticing when it wanders and coming back. It's just about receiving. So it's a very much of a non-doer practice. It's a practice that involves the mindful attitudes of non-striving, of beginner's mind, and of being with your experience as it is in this moment and exploring it with curiosity and interest. And I feel that it's really appropriate for this particular day and time in history. Today is December 26th, and in Ontario, we are going into another period of province-wide lockdown. And for some people, you may be recalling what happened in March when this happened before. And the invitation now is to practice beginner's mind, to recognize that this is a unique moment in time. It's in a unique moment in your own life. And there is the opportunity to practice with intention of how we're going to meet this moment. And can we meet it with clarity, with insight, with mindfulness, and just practicing that we don't actually know what it's going to be like. So beginner's mind, seeing everything anew as if it was happening for the first time, which it is, which it is. So in terms of striving, the only effort that's needed in this practice is to assemble whatever props you've assembled and to get yourself comfortable. The invitation is to just be. So throughout this guided practice, I'll offer you different focuses to attend to, and there'll be focuses to notice, to visualize, to imagine. And each one of these suggestions is totally optional. You might be with me for all of them or some of them, and that's fine. You may experience being able to attend to some of them and then not others, so zoning in and zoning out, and that's also fine. You may fall asleep, and that's okay as well. This is a practice where all experiences are welcome. And I'm going to invite you to see if you can give yourself permission in this space and time to do nothing, to practice nothing to do, nowhere to be, just being here now. And an invitation to not trying to make anything happen, to being open to the space of receiving and seeing if it's available to you, to release expectations, anticipations, or thoughts about what's going to come next. And instead establishing a soft intention to be conscious throughout this process to the best of your ability. And being conscious happens on many, many subtle levels. So even if it appears that you're not hearing anything I'm saying, I'm going to trust that it's going in on some level. So being receptive, being restful, being alert as best you can. And knowing that while you're practicing here, we are practicing in community with our community of like-minded individuals. So the first part of this practice is establishing a home base. So beginning by imagining yourself in a location where you feel most at ease. It could be the place where you actually are right now. It could be and this place is your own personal haven. It could be a place that you know, or it could be a place that you have yet to visit. It may be a place indoors, or it may be a place in nature. There's no wrong answer. And just choosing this as your own personal place and making it home. Seeing yourself there. Taking the time to notice who's here with you. Are you alone? Are you with loved ones? Maybe you have a pet with you. So engaging your senses and imbuing this scene with as much detail as you can. What do you see, hear, smell? What's the temperature? What are the textures? Remembering this place and knowing that at any time during this session, if you feel lost or uncomfortable, you can return to your own personal haven. So we're going to be going into a short visualization practice that involves setting an intention. So there's never a right or wrong way to do a visualization. It's an opportunity to use your own creativity and the imagery that may come to you. Some people can imagine things in full living colors if they were watching a movie. For other people, visualizations may appear more of a sense or a color or a light. So just being open to whatever comes up to you in this visualization. So beginning by imagining yourself in a space outdoors that is both beautiful and nurturing for you. It could be a place that you know well, or a place that you know only in your imagination. Being in the place and the space, bringing it to heart and mind as fully as possible, using all of your senses. Imagining the sights, sounds, touch, smells, and taste of it. Seeing if you can place yourself in the scene by noticing the sky, the clouds, the trees, the air, the temperature, any sounds that might be there, the air, the wind. And taking a moment to fill in the scene in your mind and to place yourself in this place, in the scene. Imagining in this place that there's a body of water. It could be a pond or a lake, a river or a stream going deep into the earth. It is filled with cool, fresh, clear water. And noticing on the ground a very inviting stone, bending over, picking it up, feeling the weight, the texture and temperature in your hand. And imagining that embedded in this stone is a question. What do I want to bring into my practice, into my life at this time? It could be an attitude of mindfulness, like non-judgment, patience, acceptance, letting go, trust, non-striving, beginner's mind. Or it could be an attitude of the heart, like peace, or love, wholeness, generosity, kindness. And as you are ready, walking closer, throwing the stone into the water, perhaps noticing the sound of the splash as the stone hits the water. And then being open to the answers or answer that bubble up as ripples appear on the surface of the water. What is precious to me? It could be being present, staying curious, or being grateful. As the stone sinks into the water, seeing if more answers rise to the surface. What do I need right now? Listening for the sound when the stone hits the bottom and seeing if any other answers bubble up. What do I really want? What do I want to bring more of into my life? Just taking a few moments to just be in the place you've envisioned and being with whatever bubbled up for you. Now taking a moment and seeing if you can transform this thought into a present moment statement. It could be, I am present with non-judgment. I'm going to list a few and I'm going to see if any of these resonate with you. If nothing came up for you, maybe you want to choose one of the ones I'm going to mention. But seeing if you can just stick with one for this practice. It could be, I am open to my experience as it unfolds with curiosity and interest. I am enough. I have enough. I am patient and loving to myself and others. I am loving and loved. I am whole and complete just the way I am. I am accepting of things as they are in this moment. So seeing if you can choose just one of these for this practice and letting it permeate the rest of this session. Next, we're going to lead our awareness throughout the body in the form of a body scan, visiting each part of the body as you hear it named. And not moving the body part in any way, but just being with it. So this is a bit different than a mindful body scan because rather than lingering, rather than attending the sensations, enjoying the pace and mobility of your awareness and allowing it to move freely. So the pace will be quick. And it isn't to throw you off, but it's rather to allow you to notice the mobility of your awareness. So let's begin by bringing our awareness to the throat, the tongue, the teeth, the gums, the jaw, upper and lower, the lips, lower lip, upper lip, and then the chin, the right cheek, the left cheek, the nose, the right eye, the left eye, the right eyebrow, the left eyebrow, the forehead, left ear, right ear, the face as a whole, the neck, the right shoulder, the left shoulder, the right elbow, the left elbow, the right thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, the whole right hand, the right wrist, the left thumb, the left first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, the whole left hand, left wrist, bringing attention to the trunk, the left side, the right side, the upper back, lower back, lower abdomen, belly, chest, trunk as a whole, the right hip, the left hip, the right thigh, the left thigh, the right knee, the left knee, right lower leg, left lower leg, right ankle, left ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, the top of the right foot, the bottom of the right foot, the heel, the ankle, the whole right foot as a whole. The left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, the bottom of the left foot, the top of the left foot, the heel, the ankle, the left foot as a whole. And then the right leg as a whole, the left leg as a whole. And then uniting all of the attention together into one awareness, one feeling enveloping the entire body. Just noticing. The body as a whole lying here. So we're now going to move the attention to noticing the breath, the life force, sometimes called pran, sometimes called chi, the energy, the vitality of the body. And this is an opportunity to just observe the breath as it is right now. And the breath is often used as an anchor for attention because we have it. We don't have to bring it in from elsewhere. We don't have to order it from Amazon, something that we all have with us. And it can be used as a way to be present, not getting caught in memories of things that have happened in the past or worries of things that may happen in the future. Can be a way of managing the ruminating mind. But for now, we're just going to investigate the quality of the breath as it is right now. You're just starting by noticing your breath, keeping it that simple. Noticing the breath. Noticing the breath that is currently occupying your body at this time. What are the qualities? Maybe it's slow and steady. Maybe it's quick and short. Maybe it's regular or irregular. It doesn't really matter. Just noticing the breath is enough. Tuning into the breath the way it is right now. Observing the wave-like motion of the breath as it moves through the body, like a butterfly resting on a flower, allowing your attention to ride the waves of the breath in and out, bringing energy and freshness to the body on the inhalation and releasing tension on the exhalation. So now again, bringing your attention to the feeling of the body lying on your mat. Feeling the support and awakening a feeling of heaviness, whatever this means to you. Perhaps your body goes heavy, feeling the head heavy, the arms, the torso, the legs, the feet, the spine. The whole body is heavy, heavy, sinking into the earth. And now, how would you experience weightlessness? As though the body was made of cotton, floating limbs and torso, your hands and feet floating as though filled with helium, feeling the body as weightless. Going back and forth, feeling weighted and weightlessness, heaviness, lightness. And now can you feel both heavy and weightless at the same time? How does it feel to be both heavy and weightless at the same time? So now just bringing your attention to noticing the space behind closed eyes, as if you were lying in a field, noticing the night sky before the stars came out. Just seated in awareness, noticing the space, the boundless vastness of the space, that sky space that can exist in physical reality, but also can exist in the space behind closed eyes, that black, blue space of sky, the internal sky, which is just as vast and open as the one you are lying under. Who's the one who's noticing? Stepping into the role of the witness. Can you watch this space without any expectation? Watching the space behind closed eyes, being present, being patient. Perhaps something appears in your space. It could be shape or colors or memories or patterns. Maybe something unseeable like emotions, sensations. Maybe nothing appears. Watching whatever arises in the same way you would observe a painting or a landscape or the open sky. Just watching, abiding curiosity with a generous serving of kindness, simply watching. And now bringing to mind the intention that you brought with you to this practice. Recognizing that this is actually a natural quality that you have within you that expresses itself powerfully of who you are as a human being, as an infinite being, as a unique being. This quality that connects us with each other in this fragile web of life. And let's celebrate this quality that we naturally possess and use this moment to really set the conscious intention that as much as I can, I will bring this part of who I am into my life, into my relationship with others, into the way that I see myself, and into the way that I show up in the world. And now we're just going to move into the closing part of this practice. So returning slowly, seeing yourself resting in this shape on your mat, in the room, perhaps noticing the ease of your muscles, bones, fascia that govern your brow, the temples, the jaw. Perhaps seeing softness in your hands, seeing rootedness in your feet, in your lower limbs. Observing intimately the quality of the breath, the pace of your pulse, the beating of your heart. Feeling all of these processes working together in concert in perfect harmony with one another. Zooming into the feeling of your breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Perhaps noticing your breath begin to deepen, using it to breathe life into the physical body, relaxed and lying on the floor or your mat, the surface that you're on. Feeling the container of your skin and clothes and props that are touching you. Maybe feeling the temperature of the air as it touches your skin. Noticing the heaviness of your body as it rests on the floor, and taking your awareness into all of the points that are touching the floor, the back of your heels, thighs, buttocks, shoulder blades, arms, hands, and head. Keeping your eyes closed and visualizing the room, the ceiling, the floor, where you are in the room, the other objects in the room, if there are other people in the room. Bringing yourself into this moment, bringing with it a sense of alertness, of presence, of being with things as they are. And now, taking your own time, you can begin to squirm and move, maybe moving your feet and your hands. And if you wish, this is totally optional. If you wish to keep lying under your blanket, if you wish to close your practice here, that's totally fine. But if you wish to join us in community, then slowly rolling over onto your right side into baby Krishna, fetal position, and taking some time here to reorient yourself. Breathing and resting. And then as you feel ready, and only if you feel ready, this is totally optional, coming up into a seated position, perhaps slowly opening your eyes. And maybe you could, rub your palms together and wipe your face. And just taking a moment to again check in with yourself, checking in with the body. How's it feeling now after that practice? Checking in with the mind, checking in with feelings or emotions, noticing if there's been a shift. And slowly, slowly taking your own time. And if anybody is so inclined, I would love to hear from you what you noticed in that practice.